Welcome back to another episode of Out of Home Insider. In case you missed it, look back, check last week's episode. It was all about content adjacency.
SPO, my simplified version of supply path optimization, is that it is a whole host of techniques and initiatives that buyers are implementing to make really deliberate choices about which RTB auctions they submit bids to and which RTB auctions they choose to sit on the sidelines. And there's a whole bunch of motivating factors behind it, but the big picture is you can create better return on your marketing investment if you are making very thoughtful choices about which auctions you want to participate in.
Makes sense.
And so anyway, to then get to your question, among many other categories of supply, there is this large and growing pool of inventory that is not classically CTV supply and is also not classically digital out-of-home supply. Marketers are spending a material amount of money on that today. They are spending more and more over time. And it's just not clear at all to me, or I think to the whole ad tech world, what is the right way for the buyer and for the seller to treat request auctions for an out-of-home connected TV screen.
But I thought your research, it pointed out something that I don't know that a lot of digital out-of-home folks know. Where's the majority of the OpenRTB digital out-of-home demand? Where's it actually coming from?
Well, so, okay, man, there's like a bunch of ways that you can come at this. If you're trying to size the demand, you could think of this by sort of like buying platform. Maybe that's the easiest way to start.
Okay.
And so in that framing, basically all the money, 75% of the money lives in Google, the Trade Desk, and Amazon. Like that's 75% of DSP money lives behind those platforms.
Okay.
There's lots of other platforms beyond that. Some are managing more than $1 billion a year, but we're talking about such a giant market that like basically there's 3 bidding platforms that really move the market.
How, not that we're going to answer it in this conversation, but how do you start to think about solving for such a disparate conversation? 2 very different sides of the equation. How do you, any advice for us as an industry?
You know, the impractical but sort of like easy answer is buyer choice. You know, like if we're talking about a connected TV screen in a bar or in an airport or in a dentist's office, you know, there's a very reasonable, but I think totally impractical argument that says like, give buyers choice, let buyers make that decision. And it's like the last thing a DSP buyer needs is more decisions to make.
Sure.
You know, like that's just, yeah, sure. There will be some like a handful of super sophisticated media buying teams who decide that it's worth their while to like build a deep understanding of these large pools of out of home screens